if women are to become equal citizens in a more digital post-COVID world, then bridging the mobile gender gap has never been very critical. So we really have to ensure that these mobile phones are very accessible and the people using them are actually literate. They can actually be able to maneuver these gadgets so that they can get the information and, of course, get to enjoy the internet. But according to the mobile gender gap report that was published last year, very few women can still be able to afford the smartphones and also, of course, be on the internet day by day. But I cannot really talk about this conversation alone because, first of all, I'm not a woman. Second, I have a smartphone and I'm on the internet every day maybe, and there's some opportunities that are available on the internet that you can only get when you're using your smartphone. So I have Brenda Viola from Calebkoyo to help me really break down this story, or of course share her perspectives as well. Brenda, do you still really believe that, first of all, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Do you believe that bridging the mobile gender gap is very critical, especially right now, honestly speaking?
Before I answer that, you just started throwing shade 2 minutes in. Hey, first of all, women can't afford. Obviously, I'm going to talk. What do you mean women can't afford? But fine, cool. To answer your question, I think, I've never really thought of it as a very important scenario.
Okay.
Because why should it be bridged? Like, why should, why is the gap there in the first place? I didn't know prior to this that there was a gap in existence. To me, if you wanted a smartphone, then you could go and get it. If you don't, it doesn't have to be the most expensive one.
But it's a smartphone.
Yes, it's
How much
smartphone,
is a smartphone right now? The cheapest smartphone?
Maybe. So for
4,500?
Yeah, maybe that. I think 4,500 is very good for any basic smartphone.
Okay.
Yeah, not counting, from 4,500 to the iPhone 13 Pro, whatnot. So 4,500 is pretty a small amount, a decent amount. So it really shocks me to hear you say that there is actually a gap between males and females who own smartphones in the country today.
It's called the mobile gender gap.
The mobile gender gap.
Yeah.
It's actually a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. Okay. So actually this gap, of course, is according to this report that was published last year. And if you look at the population right now, as of January last year, we were around 54.38. That's the entire population. But 50.3 of this is, of course, is female. And then there's 49.7 of us who are male. But at the same time, we still have more smartphones and we still have, of course, access to smartphone. Maybe we have a lot of cash, or maybe we know our sources where we can get these phones easily. And women cannot still really get to maybe afford the smartphones, maybe own the smartphones. Why do you think that is happening?
I like how you say men have a lot of cash.
Yeah.
Because it is exactly that.
Okay.
And hear me out for a second before someone starts bashing me. We know, let us just jump kidogo from the mobile gender gap to the wage gap, the gender wage gap in the country today. We know that more men are employed or have, whether it's formal or informal employment, compared to women. Hata tukirudi mtaani tu pale unapata mama atatulia kwa nyumba akingoja the husband to go and hustle nini ndio akuja amletee chakula at the end of the day, blah blah blah. So you find that at the core of it, unfortunately, less women have employment or want to go and seek employment compared to women. So wenye wanaume wanajituma kutafuta kazi, kutafuta hela nini. Exactly, it's not, unfortunately, it's not what how most women behave today. So huyu jamaa tumesema the cheapest smartphone is around 4,500. They wanna hustle, apelekea bibi nyumbani 1,000. Doesn't mean alipata 1,000, si ndio? Alipe sema school fees, alipe anyway chumvi, whatever needs to be bought in the house. Day 2 a hustle, day 3, day 4. By the end of the month, unapata this guy could have saved more than 4,500.
Of course.
Si ndio? So this person will buy the smartphone first. Unapata sasa kwa ground, unapata bibi anatumia kabambe and
anatumia smartphone.
Exactly. And it's so common. I know when I go back home ile ukweli, I find some of my uncles or aunties with the same scenario.
The wife ase mulika mwizi, then he has a smartphone.
Yes.
And sometimes a very expensive smartphone that can buy 2 regular smartphones.
Exactly. Okay. So I partly believe that this mobile gender gap is partly because of that. Less women are more prone to kujituma, kujitafutia hela wenyewe. They depend on the husband. So anangoja the husband or the boyfriend. Akishanunua yake and after some time, exactly. And that takes some time.
Takes some time.
Yes.
You talked about you brought in a very good angle to the story again. The rural life and the urban life.
Yes.
Around 71.8% of this population live in the rural areas. Then the other bit of it, 28.2, are in the urban, settlement and all that. Now, this bigger percentage who are at home, of course, the women there and the men, and sometimes the man lives in town. Then the wife stays at home.
Yes.
And this is not happening. So if you have to really break this gap and really ensure that everybody can access the internet and can get the smartphones, then should the wives stay with their husbands in town, or how are we going to really?
When you think about it, or you really think about it, personally, if my husband comes and tells me where carry serve as
it's not happening.
Miss me with it. But I don't understand why it gets to a point where couples decide to separate and live in different towns. Maybe it's circumstances, maybe it's what they want. But I don't really advocate for women to go and live in different areas from the husband. I mean, we all know the cheating scandals. We all know
the women should not be left in the village.
They should not be left. If a man tells a wife to wake up a village and then I go to the city, that to me is a huge red flag, because why are you leaving me here? And secondly, I like how umesema wanaume wanaenda mjini wengi, which is true. Ukifika mjini, let me ask you a question before I finish. What do you as a guy, you as a man of today, you as a youth of today, what applications do you use in a smartphone?
It depends. Right now, almost everyone uses WhatsApp. So I have WhatsApp. We can do WhatsApp business, whichever WhatsApp, GB or whatever. That works. Then if you have your utility apps and all that, now you have that as well.
So I'm pretty sure kuna like one or two, at least two social media apps. It could be WhatsApp and Instagram, WhatsApp and Facebook, WhatsApp and Twitter, and then you have your regular M-Pesa apps. One thing I know about Kenya today is that betting companies are heavily benefiting from male subscribers compared to female subscribers, and I know that betting is easier with smartphone compared to. Now we have we have so many betting
companies.
Exactly. Like companies who award their winners, companies who award their losers, and it's a huge sector right now in the country today. So if this guy akopale town afu anakachini anasema kwanza kubet, kuplace bet, na kabambe is a whole story. Much less kwenda kwa cyber. So pia that the need of these guys to use this, to access these applications, whether it's socially or economically or maybe religiously, kuna watu husoma Biblia, Quran, watu wanachukua simu, it's more important for them than it is for women. Currently, right now, you know my situation. Mimi niko na kabambe right now.
It's fine. It's fine.
So it doesn't really bug me as much. I thought that the lack of WhatsApp in my phone will disturb me, but it doesn't. Yeah, mimi niko sawa. If I need to call someone, I just give a call. If someone is important enough anyway, then
you just call them.
Exactly, and vice versa. If they need me, they can't find me, they call me. So on a person, for me, I don't sit and think, what's up in Aningoma, sijui betikas, sijui.
So partly pia the betting craze has really facilitated or pushed more men to really get the smartphones, because the men bet more than the women do.
Yes, there is actually an entire study done on the betting industry in Kenya. And you remember some time back in Kenya they were trying to tax it. They introduced the tax, and then right now it's actually very, very heavy, because last time I checked, if you want something, I don't know how the dynamics work, but if you want something and it's like, say, unapata 1,200, utapewa 900, but the 300 ni the tax. Something like that. It could be very, very vague, but something like that. So this same report showed that out of the entire population, unapata more like 85% ni men. So the other 25. No, 15.
Rather the kids now.
Yes, exactly. Before it gets for women. And in a part also come in women, they're not going to be dating frequently. Yes. So again, it goes back to why you're using the smartphone. If and I know most women pale reserve, pale unapata maybe network is a problem, pale unapata internet haiko as much, plus pia cost of internet is very...
Cost of internet.
Yeah.
So we can safely say that men have so much, wakona matumizi sana na smartphone kushinda wanawake.
Yes, men tend to use their phones more than women.
Okay, but if men tend to use their phones more, then we have a 40% internet penetration right now, meaning most of the people who access the internet are men. Are we really using the internet well? Sisi kama wanaume, we as men.
Okay, you know, I like how you say men have more, they tend to use their smartphones more than women. But women, I for a fact know that women use the internet a lot. But for women, it's more of social media.
Okay.
It could be posting pictures on Instagram. It could be stalking an ex-boyfriend, stalking an ex-best friend, stalking someone, or liking someone, or following someone, or doing trends. For women, most women will lean towards that. There's a new trend though. We find that women who want to be entrepreneurs, they want to rely on social media to use to make sales and whatnot. But again, at the same time, this same report was showing that men have been doing that for yes. So I feel as though for women today in Kenya, we are trying to catch up with how men use social media and the internet as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
So among these 11 million social media users in Kenya, women are trying to catch up as much as they can.
Not social media, just the internet as a whole.
Just the internet.
Yes, I still strongly believe that maybe it's me and my circle, but I still believe that a huge number of social media users are women. But I think it varies from one application to the next, because if I come to Facebook, then I'm pretty sure it's going to be men. But when I switch to TikTok, women, yeah. Okay. So I think it depends with the type of social media platform it is. Okay. But in general, in overall, as far as using the internet to benefit our lives, whether it is socially, economically, spiritually, blah, 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 I still think that women are slowly trying to catch up with men. Yes. Okay. And it's the gap is going to be there for a while. Provided that men will still be a few steps ahead. But I'm thinking, because easy statistics tunasema is last year January, yeah? January 2021. Yes.
If another one is released, they're going to kind of change.
Oh, exactly. Okay. Plus, we all know how the pandemic changed, switched everything, and everything became more digitalized, blah, blah, blah.
So you were talking about coronavirus, and I was just going to that point right now. I think the impact has been crazy, and of course it's one of the reasons why people are saying, okay, this is happening right now. The economic impact of the COVID-19 has actually been felt, and we can argue now that the women have felt it more, or the men who are in town, the 28.2% of us who live in town have really felt this impact so much. So we are not able to provide for our women who are in the village. So even getting this, I can say smartphone is the basic stuff right now, especially after COVID-19. It's difficult. So we can blame this one again on COVID-19 safely.
I still, again, it really goes back to saying how naturally and generally men are still the providers of the most families today. Hata kama unapata mwanamke anajituma, but the majority of the responsibility is still going to fall on the men. Now with COVID-19, people getting sacked, others losing their businesses, we're only trying to come back to where we were despite COVID-19. So men felt the impact mostly compared to...
And it's visible to their women, to their mothers, to their sisters, and everybody around.
Yes, even to their children. It's still very, very visible. Because now you have a guy who has been staying in the city for a while, hustling for the family, amekuwa akitegemea kazi yake, whether it's mjengo, whether it is hoteli, whether it's taxi. And now COVID-19 came out, and jobs were lost. The economy was shut down for a while, and we're still experiencing this effects up to today. So by the time we that 4,400, it's a hustle.
He has to think about some other things that are now pressing right now.
Yes, especially now we have rent, we have water, we have
food and all that.
We have transport. making money is expensive in its own. So finding the extra 4,500 to give to your wife for a smartphone, it's almost irresponsible. So
it's almost financially in display.
Exactly. So we catch me up on kabambe yako when we pull through.
When you need to access something on the internet, please ask for my phone.
Yes.
I got that.
Sorry, but I don't think a man will tell me that.
But I think
when you like a cyber.
ask question.
Hey man,
I think that's the reason, maybe COVID-19, but also people argue that first of all, affordability. When we're setting these prices, of course, for these phones and all that, should we also take into consideration the pocket, the pocket friendliness? Maybe something that can be affordable to me.
I think they do that already.
They do that already.
Yeah, because you can't really expect iPhone 13 Pro to be affordable. Why should it be?
It's at that price, but is it really affordable to many women, or it's only affordable to many men? Because that is where I'm heading to. When we're setting these prices to these smartphones, should we say only men now can buy this? Because like you said, most of the men are the, one or the other, they're the people.
I think when these companies come together to decide their prices, they have an entire marketing team, they know their target market. And you wouldn't find someone mwenye anaweza afford smartphone ya 4,500. Exactly. We all know, have you ever been in a situation where you are broke? You're telling your friend, aki nimesota by the
of course.
Beshte yako pia anakuambia nimesota nini. Kidogo anakupea rate, unafika kwa place ya mafuta anasema ni 10K. And you are like, we are supposed to be broke. We are supposed to be broke together.
He has 10,000, but he's broke.
Exactly, but he's broke. And you don't have your 1,000, but you're still broke. So I think relativity peer with the same concept. The target market here, iPhone 13 Pro. The middle class, upper middle class, we have the sponsors, we have the sugar babies, we have the Ben 10s around. We see these guys and women using these very expensive phones. We know that these companies had it in mind that their target market is this and these people. So there is no way mimi niko pale mashinani, my husband is hustling for Nduzi, it could be Nduzi, it could be Django, it could be taxi driver, and they can't go and, maybe an irrational woman will, but a rational woman wouldn't go and demand for an iPhone 13.
Exactly.
They would check, this is our living standards right now. So let me go for 4,500. I don't really think, ikifika hiyo party affordability, watu wakianza complain at it's too expensive. Hapo wanajaribu kuforce issues.
It's never too expensive.
It's never too expensive.
It's only that you cannot afford it.
And you don't want to accept that you can't afford. So you keep on beating yourself at is my company, it's expensive.
But if the man can afford this phone, the iPhone 13 and all that, and he has a wife, or he has a girlfriend, or he has a fiance, or a daughter somewhere in the village or in some other town elsewhere, why is it difficult to really also buy for them? Or a man, like you say, we are all broke. I have only this cash for one iPhone 13, not two or three. Lack of literacy, is this still a problem, or you people are not illiterate?
Lack of literacy,
Or it's not twofold, the men as well, but is it really an issue? It's a bit hard to answer that. Since maybe I'm not sijatembea sana. So I won't really speak for everyone. But from the little I've walked, from the small towns I've been in, I know that literacy isn't really an issue. Because again, at the end of the day, when you really think about it, people get smartphones for convenience. Of course.
So you just want to check something online. You can't do that with is it Android?
Android,
no, it's Kabambe. What is Kabambe in English?
Just like
digital analog. The analog phones. You can't do that with the analog phones. But you can check the internet with the
smartphone.
Exactly. So it really just boils down to convenience and literacy. I think literacy has a very, very small role to play, unless now that report shed light on that.
What if now literacy now, maybe in this context where a man has a wife who has been in the village her entire life, and basically she's been using her small phone her entire life. Now he really if he buys this phone, before he sends the phone back home to the wife, he has to set the ringtone for her. He has to ensure everything is set on
that still happens.
It happens.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Where I come from, it's crazy.
So where do you come from?
You should visit.
Okay. All right. I should walk there.
Yeah. So it still happens.
It's living.
I still see people around. I still have my mothers and my neighbors who you have to help them set something. You have to really help them.
When you say mothers, when you say our parents,
the mothers who are like, I'm not talking about the
our generation. Like our generation is still okay. I hadn't really thought about it like that because when I scroll through Facebook, through TikTok, I actually see guys machinani. Yeah. Like seriously, deep in the bush. Posting stuff on TikTok, on Facebook, and them telling you their lives, or them actually showing you what is happening on ground, and you can tell that this person maybe goes to this level of education. Okay. So that's why I'm a bit skeptical. So
this lack of literacy part of it is not really.
I don't think so. Right now, using a smartphone is one of the easiest things there is on the planet. I think today. Mostly because unapata people readily understand English, and the good thing about smartphones today is that you can actually set the language to Swahili if you want to. If you can't understand English,
switching the language to Swahili is also tough. Who knows?
It's tough for them unless maybe you put it like that. Unless so maybe when that instance happens, maybe they call someone, they call their daughter, they call their son, they call their boyfriend or husband, and they're like, "Hey babe, but I'm pretty sure after that setting has been done and whatnot, then they're okay, they're good to go. So illiteracy I think it has a very, very little role to play. But maybe when you bring in other gadgets like computers, laptops, tablets, yes, but smartphones.
I think that point now brings us to digital skills and tech and women in tech and all that. I think it's a point because we still have developers who really focus on women in tech. They want to ensure that more women get into tech, more women get...
There is an entire company in Nairobi just on that
women in tech.
Yes.
So it means that digitally, women are not really equipped. And this is showing even, of course, with their...
No, I do not agree. Unless when you talk women in tech, I'm assuming Bichuka programming, I'm assuming
that's
editing.
That's
deep. That's deep stuff. If it's really not my cup of tea, then I'm not going to take it. But when it comes to using a smartphone, it's women with editing skills, Photoshop skills. Do you know how women Photoshop their pictures to enlarge their boobs, their hips, their...
I don't know, tell me.
I know. It's cool to maybe have taken like a picture. I'm like, maybe, my behind is not popping as it should be, so let me do something to it. So women know what they do, know how to use their phones. Maybe, I don't know, I really just don't understand where this gap is coming from. Because from the women I've hung out with...
The women you hang out with know how to use their phone.
Women I follow on Facebook,
they know how to use their phone.
Women I've seen videos in TikTok, they know how to...
They have the phones.
Yes, they have the phones. So it's as simple as putting a filter on, selecting a filter, simple as darkening something or lightening.
Brightening.
So it's, women know. This, maybe when you talk about the one part that I can agree with, when you go to the professional side of it, then that I know 100% that women are very few compared to the men.
Basically, there's still really more to be done. Maybe more to be done so that we can ensure we are not just bridging the mobile gender gap, but also
my guy,
economics and all that, and incomes and sustainability and
I'm waiting for you to bring one point to this table, and you are not.
Which point?
The point of how you said something very important. You said that unapata when a guy is buying the girlfriend or the wife a phone, and I'm set here.
Ringtones, all that.
Messages, kila kitu, wanamwekea contacts if, anamwekea hadi SIM card.
For real?
Sindio?
Line ndo hii, namba yake pekee ndio kwa hiyo line.
Hadi screen guard, the cover, namba yake pekee yake ndio kwa.
She just have to check the phone and call.
And charge it and use it and call. Sindio? You see on that, the same energy, maybe that is coming from a good place, from a place where I'm actually helping marry.
For real?
Yes, but there are some men who actually take this entire process very wrongly. They want to control the woman.
Wow.
You get men who are very, very scared of their wife posting maybe pictures or videos on Instagram, on social media, because they know that the minute my woman posts something then mafisi wote.
Watamwendea.
Yes, because of those Indians, wote. Watamwendea. You see, utapata pale kwa comment section, you see a guy commenting on your woman's photo and you're confused for a minute.
So that could also be an issue.
It is an issue. It is
that could also stop men from buying smartphones too.
It does.
Oh, yeah?
I'm 100% sure. When the first time I heard of this story, I was so surprised because I didn't think for a second that in this time and age that a man could be that controlling to a woman.
Okay.
But I happened to visit one of the law settlement areas, lower social class living areas, and I was checking a story on illicit brews and whatnot.
Yeah.
So me niko pale na this lady, small lady about my age. I'm talking to her and I'm asking, kwani si kama this is your business, see post it online.
Post it online.
At the end of the day, you want to make money. So post it online. Hapo ananiambia hana simu. And I'm like, okay,
but you have a business.
Exactly. So why don't you buy it? It's only 4,500 bob.
Yeah.
And from all this money you make, even within a week or 2 weeks, you can
get the phone.
Exactly. So why not? And then she told me, mzee wangu hataki. Then I was so confused because why? And then she tells me that the last time she had a phone was in 2019 when COVID was starting. And then after that, she tried getting a phone 2020 around March. But the minute the husband found out, it got ugly pretty quickly. So she again became a victim of other manenos. But listening to her story at the time, I realized that men, or rather at the time, her husband was very insecure. Maybe he thought that this lady will be cheating on me with other men using the smartphone.
Using the phone. Because
again, it's very convenient. Send me a picture, send you a picture.
Reply to your statuses and you...
Exactly. Yeah, so this guy was very, very uncomfortable with the wife having a smartphone because he believed that the wife was cheating. Now, a sad thing about it is that her story is not really unique.
There are a couple of them out there.
Yes, so many stories.
So the men are kind of, when they get to your phone, they want to ensure that it's only them you are calling, texting.
Exactly.
So they will even go to an extent of maybe deleting some apps, blocking some apps. Numbers and all that.
Blocking numbers.
And so if they can ensure that you have mulikamuzi your entire life, then they will take that road.
So we find men will rather, for them to be comfortable, they will rather ensure that their wife has a smartphone.
Okay.
If a wife wants to buy a smartphone, then the husband hits her with, mbona unanunua simu sasa? Si unafanya? Si ununue hii, ununulia mtoto kiatu. So you find that this woman in this relationship ends up putting other things first besides the smartphone. And remember, this same guy is the one who is putting his smartphone needs first before everything else. Yeah. So there is a lot of double standards, and men are actually very, very controlling when it comes to their women, especially the women who have whom they have bought for phones. Let me tell you this other story. There was a friend of mine, an acquaintance, she was bought for a very nice phone, a very expensive phone, over 200 plus. You know, this Samsung G, Zip, whatever. You can fold it, blah, blah, blah. Very nice phone, very expensive. And then this guy happened to, my friend's friend, who is a guy, happened to call her.
Okay. On that phone.
Yes, using at around 6.
In the evening?
Yes, in the evening. So, sisi tuko pale, we're just chilling with me, my acquaintance with my friend, my other friend, and my friend's boyfriend. I think he was in the bedroom or something. So we're just chilling, nini. So, ikafika 6, we're like, sisi tujitoe, because we cannot overstay.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So, before we left, a guy calls.
The phone rings.
Yes, zileza, niaje uko wapi? Uko kwako nikuje? And then she says, niko kwangu, but don't come sahi, I want to leave. So I think the minute alisema don't come sahi there, the boyfriend heard. And that could mean maybe he thought Zileza, yes. So he thought Zileza, sikuja sahi mtu wangu wako, get. But it was never really that deep. So me, my friend, we left. Tukawacha mambo ya watu wawili, unawachia na sio. A few days later, because I texted my friend pale WhatsApp again, and she doesn't reply. I'm confused for a minute.
She ain't online.
Yeah, and it's very unlike her. And if you check Instagram, she's not around. Very unlike her. But I'm like, sometimes people decide to take social media detox. So I'm thinking, fine, cool. A week, still can't find her, so I give her a call. And then a computer.
She doesn't have a phone now.
Yes.
The guy took the phone.
Wait for the story, Sasa. So, not a week later, actually 3 days later, bado kumteja. So on the 4th day, napata, I tried to call you.
She tried reaching out?
Yes. Luzileza, you tried to call me, blah, 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 after umepigia kumteja. Yes. So, this fly is really disturbing me, to be honest.
You can see.
So, ikipata a message, first thing I do is I gave her a call. And she's like, you guys just come around, nini. We catch up again. And we're like, cool, fine, so if you have anything better to do, so on a weekend, we go. It's like from your story, and from here, what happened after we left. So after we left, the husband or the boyfriend or the guy was very, very upset, took the phone and threw it out the window. Ikavunjika. Mind you, this is a very expensive phone. 200 Gs plus. Akavunja.
Very important. There's some other things to throw in.
But hiyo shamba unatupa wala. Akatupa simu ikavunjika, went and got it and then continued breaking it some more. So tukiangalia hii simu hapo, we were like, okay. And after all of that, do you know what the guy did? Bought another phone very easily. Same day. Yeah.
Bought the girl another phone?
Yeah, a better one.
So the man...
I didn't even know there were better phones in this country besides senior 200 Gs.
So the men want to, first of all, we want to be in control.
Yes.
We want to control everything that the women do. So if that has to really make us, not buy you phones or keep you,
keep you, or even break your phone so that you don't talk to that one guy.
Then we are going to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time, B.
Yeah.
I hope you get your smartphone soon, though.
Right.